The world just witnessed something that should terrify every American. China's military might on full display. World leaders bowing before Beijing. A hot mic catching conversations about immortality between dictators. What are they afraid of? And right in the middle of it all, Vladimir Putin praising Donald Trump while preparing to crush what's left of Ukraine? This isn't some distant threat anymore. It's happening right now. Our enemies are coordinating. They're sharing technology. They're building pipelines. They're preparing for something big. And while they plan our downfall, what is our State Department doing? Well, you're about to find out, because the global chessboard is set. And the next moves will determine whether America survives. Don't look away. Now, let me ask you something. If you've built up $100,000 or more in investments, do you really want all of it riding on the stock market? Think about it. Banks, billionaires, even entire countries loading up on physical gold and silver. Why? Because when markets swing, real assets hold their value. That's why I want to tell you about Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to own investment-grade gold and silver, the same kind big players are buying. And you can actually hold it in your hand or put it safely in your retirement account. You've worked hard to build your wealth. Isn't it time you protected it? Noble Gold is family-owned, trusted by thousands, and ranked #1 in gold IRAs 4 years in a row. Visit nextnewsgold.com. You'll find a link below today, or call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Operators are standing by, waiting for your call. Now, this just in, Putin and Xi were meeting together. North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un allegedly traveled to China with his own toilet in order to protect his DNA. That's according to the New York Post. You can see the video on your screen. The dictator's aides were seen at one point during his trip to China wiping down the area where he sat. Now, they state here, this is Colin Rugg states, the reason behind it is to seal off anything relating to his health from the rest of the world, according to a South Korean intelligence official. The physical condition of the supreme leader has a major impact on the North Korean regime. North Korea makes a particular effort to seal off anything related to that, such as hair and excrement, said the official to Nikkei Asia. A video from Yunshalev Live via Telegram. How bizarre is that? Wiping off anything he touches. We also have this just in from Stephen Miller, Just the News, posting a gaggle outside the White House with Stephen Miller. Let's listen. Talking about the peace deals President Trump has secured.
The French president has said today that if Putin doesn't have talks with Zelensky, then President Trump will have been, quote, played. Is that true? Is President Trump being played by President Putin at the moment?
Such an absurd question. President Trump has achieved 7 peace deals in 7 months. No president in history has done more to advance the cause of peace. He's been nominated by multiple world leaders for the Nobel Peace Prize. Literally no president, not just in our lifetimes, but that I can think of in American history, and no world leader anywhere today, anywhere on earth, has done more to advance world peace than President Trump. He's ended the conflict between Israel and Iran. He's ended the conflict between Rwanda and Congo, between India and Pakistan, Azerbaijan. I mean, example after example after example. And obviously he's working steadfastly to end the killing in Ukraine. And keep in mind, this is President Biden's war. It started because of President Biden, and President Trump inherited President Biden's war, and he's working steadfastly to end the killing. And that's something that everyone in the world should celebrate.
Stephen Miller nailing all of the talking points. We have this from Jacob in Cambodia. King Norodom Sihamoni of Cambodia attended today's Victory Day military parade in Beijing. The event marked the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II, and he appeared among other foreign leaders at the Tiananmen Square parade. Now, President Trump posting this on Truth Social. The big question to be answered is whether or not President Xi of China will mention the massive amount of support and blood that the United States of America gave to China in order to help it secure its freedom from an unfriendly foreign invader. Many Americans died in China's quest for victory and glory. I hope they are rightfully honored and remembered for their bravery and sacrifice. May President Xi and the wonderful people of China have a great and lasting day of celebration. Please give my warmest regards to Vladimir Putin and Kim Jong-un as you conspire against the United States of America. President Trump not holding back in his observation of the conspiracy that is unfolding. Geiger Capital posting China's largest ever military parade, saying we would lose a hot war versus China over Taiwan. We simply couldn't produce and replace enough ships, vehicles, drones, or munitions. Take a look at this. This is the scene, Tiananmen Square, the lineup of tanks, military, the arsenal, the soldiers. There's, I guess that looks like, I think it's President Xi standing in the sunroof. Soldiers looking onward. Yes, President Xi right there. Let's see if there's any sound of this. Yeah, so you can see a massive display celebrating the end of World War II, but also flexing at the very same time. Victory Day 80. Look at this. More visuals, cannons, troops, vehicles. I mean, it is an impressive display of munitions. A massive flex. And Geiger Capital says we would lose that war. Now, here's the hot mic moment. Xi and Putin discussing organ transplants and immortality. Why would they be talking about immortality? Are they afraid of dying? Who would be the one killing them? I don't know. Listen to this.
In the past, people rarely lived longer than 70 years. But today, they say that at 70, you are still a child.
Human organs can be continuously transplanted. The longer you live, the younger you become, and can even achieve immortality.
In the past, people rarely lived.
Wow, that's what Putin's talking about with Xi. Organ transplants in perpetuity to make you live forever. Senator Marco Rubio posted this 4 hours ago through our joint collaboration with President Claudia Schifrin. The U.S. and Mexico have strengthened border security, taken action to dismantle the cartels, made progress towards sharing water resources, and promoted new economic opportunities. Today, we discuss these issues and the importance of resolving trade and non-trade barriers in line with President Trump's America First foreign policy. Here's Marco Rubio. More. This was published 5 hours ago by Town Hall. If you recall, just yesterday, Donald Trump issued the first strike against the narco-terrorists, taking out a drug smuggling boat in the Caribbean. Marco Rubio holding nothing back about doubling and tripling down on eliminating the narco-terrorist threats to the United States. Listen.
Organized. The President of the United States has determined that narco-terrorist organizations pose a threat to the national security of the United States. I don't need to explain to you why. They are traffickers of people. They are traffickers of deadly drugs. They are traffickers of all kinds of illicit means, and they use the money that they generate to destabilize governments in the region, which in and of itself then poses a threat to the United States. So he has designated for what they are. They are narco-terrorist organizations. These are not stockbrokers. These are not real estate agents who on the side deal a few drugs. These are organized, corporate structured organizations who specialize in the trafficking of deadly drugs into the United States of America. They pose an immediate threat to the United States. Period. If you're on a boat full of cocaine or fentanyl or whatever headed to the United States, you're an immediate threat to the United States. And the President, under his authority as Commander-in-Chief, has a right, under exigent circumstances, to eliminate imminent threats to the United States. And that's what he did yesterday in international waters, and that's what he intends to do. We're not going to sit back anymore and watch these people sail up and down the Caribbean like a cruise ship. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen anymore. They're not going to bring drugs into the United States. We're going to stop them. I know a lot of presidents have talked about doing it. This president is not a talker, he's a doer, and he's going to do it. The President of the United States has determined that narco-terrorist organizations pose a threat to the national security of the United States. I don't need to explain to you why.
They are working to end that scourge in the United States. Well, we'll have to wait and see how that pans out. But as you know, we've been tracking that drug war off the coast of Venezuela. Sputnik reporting, haven't seen them in a while. Sputnik just writes that Putin gave a bombshell press conference where he discussed Ukrainian Trump and Russian-China energy cooperation. Let's see what Sputnik is. Of course, you know Sputnik is a Russian state-sponsored organization. Ukrainian military, they're right in critical condition, no longer capable of large-scale operations, according to Putin. Ukrainian combat-ready units are staffed at no more than 48%. Ukrainian military constantly forced to redeploy units from one part of the front to another. If Ukrainian conflicts cannot be resolved peacefully, Russia will be forced to achieve its objective by military means. Let's see if this is in English.
So we will see how the situation develops, how it unfolds. Well, if not, then we will have to accomplish our goals via military means.
He says if Zelensky is interested in meeting, he can come to Moscow.
Administration lips, and if we meet with the current head of administration, let's put it this way, it is possible. I never rule this out. If the meeting is well prepared and if it leads to a positive potential outcome, it is possible. And by the way, Donald asked me if it's possible to have such a meeting, and I said that it is. Now, after all, if Zelensky is ready, he can come to Moscow. If
Zelensky going to Moscow? We'll see. Trump's Ukraine and diplomatic efforts welcomed by everyone at the SCO summit, according to Putin. All express hope that these efforts would lead to peace.
That he will also conspire against the United States. Well, President Trump has a sense of humor. It's well known. And we are on first-name basis, and I can tell you, and I hope that he will also hear this, that strange though it may seem, but throughout these days, both during informal and formal talks, there was not one case when anyone voiced a negative opinion about the current U.S. administration. Not once during these 4 days. All of the people that I talked to supported at the meeting that we had in Anchorage, and they all expressed hope that the position held by President Trump and the position held by Russia and all the other parties will lead to an end of this conflict. So that is something that I'm saying without any kind of irony. And since I'm saying this publicly and everyone in the world will hear this, it is a direct confirmation of the fact that it's true, because all of those people will hear me and conspire against the United States.
So he says they are not conspiring. Let's see. Let's continue with what else we've got lined up in this. So you got some remarks from Vladimir Putin. This also a flyover honors fallen Polish Army F-16 pilot as Polish President Karol Nawrocki arrives at the White House. Here's more from that. President Trump in the Oval Office today.
Poland, thank you very much. It's a great pleasure to have President Nawrocki with us. Poland, he did a good job with that, right? Gave me a little different pronunciation. I said I want to get it perfect. Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Good.
Good. Yeah. Nawrocki.
I better get it right. And the president's been amazing. He had an incredible race. He came from behind and he won very handily. The people of Poland have taken to him immediately. They really love him. There's great love and respect. He's a very successful man, but he went into a political hatchet, so to speak. It was a pretty tough race, pretty nasty race, and he beat them all, and he beat them all very easily. And now he's become even more popular as they got to know him and know him better. He's doing a really fantastic job. So it's an honor to. I also endorsed him, so I'm very proud of that. I don't endorse too many people, but I endorsed him, and I was very proud of that, the job he's done. I want to thank Vince Haley for that recommendation. Vince was fantastic, and I appreciate it. And I can tell you who really appreciates it, Poland, because they're very happy with their president. And I just want to say it's an honor to have you. We'll be discussing trade and various other things, the things that you discuss. We'll have a few questions from you, and then we'll get on to a discussion, then we'll have lunch, and then he goes and he meets with the Pope, and that'll be very exciting. And Say hello to the Pope for me. Yeah.
Say hello to the Pope for me. Give the Pope my regards. President Trump in the Oval Office. Talking about the flyover, President Trump says, very much in honor of your great pilot who just passed away recently, who was a legend in Poland, a horrific accident. President Trump talking about a Truth Social post that he put out last night.
We're only doing this there. I put out a truth last night. You saw that. And I was the one that brought it up. I said, they're only doing this. They're looking to, when they did what they did, I thought it was a beautiful ceremony. I thought it was very, very impressive. But I understood the reason they were doing it, and they were hoping I was watching, and I was watching. My relationship with all of them is very good. We're going to find out how good it is over the next week or two. I think that we helped China very much, as you know, when they talk about freedom. And I don't believe that, and maybe I'm wrong, I hope I'm wrong, but I don't believe that America, that the United States was acknowledged for helping China to gain its freedom. But perhaps that was just that was a sleight of hand. I mean, I was very surprised. I watched the speech last night. President Xi is a friend of mine, but I thought that the United States should have been mentioned last night during that speech because we helped China. I put out
We helped China in World War II is his reference point. Here is President Trump on Putin.
Whatever his decision, I have no message to President Putin. He knows where I stand, and he'll make a decision one way or the other. Whatever his decision is, we'll either be happy about it or unhappy. And if we're unhappy about it, you'll see things happen.
You will see things happen. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. My final thought is next. So this is the New World Order taking shape before our eyes. China showing military might that supposedly we can't match. Putin cutting energy deals that will starve Europe while fueling Beijing's war machine. And they're doing it openly, brazenly, because they think America's weak. But here's what they didn't count on. Marco Rubio treating cartels like terrorist organizations they are. Trump putting real pressure on Russia while the media claims he does nothing. A president who understands that strength, not appeasement, keeps the peace. When Xi and Putin discuss immortality on hot mics, when they parade their weapons while praising each other's brutality, they're telling us exactly what they are afraid of: death. And we should believe them. So the question is, will we have the spine to stand up to this axis of evil? Yes or no? Drop your answer below. And if you are ready to show where you stand, our merch shop is linked in the description.